Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Mumkey and Cobb movie reviews. But today I am not joined by Cobb, so the title is a complete lie. Instead, today I am joined by my friend who you barely know, Mr. E. Rich.
Oh, you'll know me by the end of this episode. Don't worry about that.
Unfortunately. The only other thing you guys would know E. Rich from is that he played one of the henchmen in that short film I did last year called Snap Crackle Cop.
Yep.
He was the henchman that wasn't Biggs.
Yes.
But now he's here to talk about a movie with me. A movie that I like to call... what was it called?
La La Land.
La La Land. Yeah, that's what I like to call it.
The stars, Monkey, the stars!
Oh, the stars were shining
Hollywood,
bright in this film.
L.A., the stars, Monkey!
So I want to bring up why I wanted to see this movie in the first place. And it was because I was watching, that one reviewer, Chris Stuckman. He did a top 10 favorite movies of 2016.
Okay.
And he had La La Land as his number 2.
Okay.
And what intrigued me about his review was that he said it was one of the greatest musicals of all time. And I'm thinking...
that's not true.
Yeah, I was thinking, whoa, that's a pretty bold claim, because I'm not a huge musical guy. I see musicals in person more than I watch musical movies. I actually like going to the theater. So when I hear a bold claim like one of the greatest musicals of all time, I'm thinking, okay, I have to go see this. And then, Ryan Gosling's in it, so of course I'm going to see it anyway. I fucking love Ryan Gosling.
Baby Goose himself.
Yeah, Baby Goose. So I guess we could start off talking about this movie as a musical, and you already articulated you don't think it's one of the greatest of all time. So
no,
what do you think of it?
I think just the songs in it are decent. I'd say it's even a better dance movie than it is a musical. Like, just basically, the songs are decent enough themselves. My biggest problem with the movie is that, like, the songs are kind of drowned in the mix of the movie.
Yeah,
like, the music
the
of it.
opening song, I could barely hear what the people were saying.
Yeah,
right?
which I don't know. I'm struggling to see whether that's on purpose or not. I'm not entirely sure, but I can barely hear the words for some of the songs in this movie, which really detracts from, like, the whole musical part of it.
And it doesn't help that Ryan Gosling is known for being a mumbling actor. So when you're mumbling all of your lyrics, it makes it even harder to understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is the same director who did Whiplash last year, right?
Which, I loved that movie.
That's a phenomenal movie. So, one of my top 3 from last year, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
So I take it he only does movies about music then? Because I haven't seen any of his other ones.
Well, I now don't remember. He's going to do another movie with Ryan Gosling. But no, I don't remember. Oh, it's something about the space.
About space?
Yeah, about the first man who walked on the moon, something like that. Buzz Aldrin, something like that.
Does he, like, take a saxophone up on the moon and start playing it or something?
Oh, yeah, you know the Neil Armstrong, Louis Armstrong mix-up. He'll totally be playing saxophone on the moon.
that makes a lot of sense.
Trumpet on the moon, yeah.
So you would say the music in this movie wasn't the highlight?
Decent. If I did give it out of 10, I'd be like 6 maybe.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the 2 leads, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Now, I already said I'm a big fan of the Goose.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand on Emma Stone?
Emma Stone is beautiful and talented. I've only really seen her in the newer Spider-Man movies and
Did you see
she was in
Birdman?
Mean Girls, right?
I have no idea.
I think she was. If I'm wrong, people will let me know.
Have you seen Birdman from the other year?
Yes, I did. She got to look up in that movie.
Yeah, she got to look up.
Yeah. That was the very end of the movie.
Yeah, that was the climactic ending.
She looked up. Spoilers for Birdman, by the way.
Yeah. And speaking of spoilers, there is a spoiler-related thing to La La Land that I really want to talk about. But first, let's do like a quick non-spoiler review, and then I'll get into what pissed me off about this movie.
Okay,
and it infuriated me because it ruined pretty much the entire ending for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
We might have some majorly different thoughts on this then.
Well, I think once you hear my reasoning for it, you'll agree with me.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, because everybody has to agree with me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just generally on the movie, I really did enjoy it overall. Like, I think it's being vaguely overpraised, if I could, kind of react to the reaction of it. It's very good. It's competently shot, acted, directed, all that stuff. It's a beautiful kind of throwback to the olden days of Hollywood when you could just have big singing and dancing movies and that was all you did. I think the movie falls down a little bit in the middle when it starts to lose some of the music and focus on some of the character stuff. I think we'll get into some of the character stuff when we talk about spoilers, but just in general, the movie kind of depresses itself and really sags a little bit in the middle, but then I think in the end, it vaguely redeems all that shit in the middle that just kind of made it sag for me.
I want to talk about the point you made of how this movie feels like it came from the 1950s or whatever, because I think that was really important.
Yeah.
One of the big things in the movie is that Ryan Gosling is a big fan of jazz, but the genre of jazz is dying, and then, so he's trying to revive this thing that he loves, but at the same time, like, he has to struggle with, well, does he just do the new type of jazz that's all techno-y and he doesn't like it? And I think that was supposed to be analogous for this type of film and how this type of film doesn't exist anymore and it's a dying breed, and that the only way to continue to make this type of film in Hollywood today is for it to adapt with modern techno shit.
Yeah.
So I think jazz is meant to be sort of not a, I guess a simile. I can't think of the other word.
Metaphor.
Metaphor? Is meant to be a metaphor for this genre of film. I was wondering if you felt the same way.
Yeah, I do. And another kind of comparative we'll see in the movie is kind of it tries to both be one of those classic song and dance movies, but also subvert those kinds of movies by being about two struggling people in LA. It's not always smiles and dancing for them, like, but the movie oddly veers at the end to kind of fulfill their dreams in a different way. But I mean, like, it is about a struggling musician who can't get the work he wants and doesn't have the club he wants, and a struggling actress who doesn't get any roles. She has to audition all the time, and there's some great, lovely stuff there where she's surrounded by people who all look like herself and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was kind of like a...
Sorry.
It was like a Twilight Zone kind of thing where she walks out of the audition and all the other people are just the same type, red hair, young, But speaking of the directing that you touched on earlier, there were a lot of really good long takes in the movie where entire dance and song sequences would be just one long take that goes on for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm always impressed, like Birdman, for example, or that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Charlie Work episode.
Charlie Work episode with the chair. That's a great episode.
Our True Detective. I really like it when things just do a long-ass take, because it's, if you fuck up once, you have to start over, and that always kind of blows my mind to see. We did that in our short film, the opening scene.
We sure did.
We did like a minute and a half long take, and it took, 3 hours?
50 takes, I believe.
It took way too fucking long.
Yeah, you're like a real Kubrick.
Yep. And once we got it done right once, we decided, okay, we're done. We're not doing it again.
Yes.
That take better be good.
It should be good enough, yeah. So I think you mentioned Birdman and you mentioned the Charlie Work episode of Always Sunny that utilized this long continuous shot. I think that those look very good and do a very good job of showing that. However, I think some of those use digital kind of masking to make it that it's not all really one continuous. I'm not sure if this movie did it, but I was certainly fooled that they were doing one continuous dancing take or one continuous singing take.
Well, typically when they do the trickery, it's like when, Charlie's walking out of the building, like they zoom in on his jacket, and then you can tell that it's going to a different clip. But this one, the camera moved so little, and like the characters were always in focus, so I don't think they could have faked it.
Yeah, certainly not.
Yeah. So should we give kind of our final thoughts on it before we move into spoilers so that people know what if we recommend it or not?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I'd say any fan of musicals or the musical genre might be a little bit let down by the music in this, but I think that Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are charming enough as a couple and good enough actors to kind of pull through some of the lazier or I'll go into spoilers about this, but some of the weirder writing choices that are made, and just generally make a very entertaining, very charming. I keep saying charming because it is. It is a very charming film. Movie here. It left me very buoyant and very happy and glad to have seen it. So I don't think it's as good as a lot of people are saying it is, but it is a very finely made movie. So I recommend it.
I usually recommend any movie that causes me to cry because it evokes such a strong emotion.
Yeah,
and driving home from this movie, you said you were all filled with hope and joy and happy. I was fucking crying driving home. I had tears in my eyes. I was so... and I have a good comparison, but I'll save it for the spoilers. But yeah, I would recommend this one too. Mm-hmm. I don't really like musical movies. I'd rather just see it in person. Yeah. Because, anybody can fucking... You can edit a song in post-production. That's not going to be... It doesn't even have to
be them singing either, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you need to do, yeah.
But, the Goose is great. There's a lot of funny stuff. Pretty funny movie. Mm-hmm. Like when he's doing the... He's at the party, and he's
at doing the 80s music?
Yeah, he's doing 80s music, and they're doing Take On Me and all that. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're not into musicals, I'd stay away, because it's not even that great of a musical. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But if you like movies that'll make Mumkey cry, then I'd say check it out. I think the last time I cried in the theater before this was Interstellar, during the scene when Matthew McConaughey's watching 30 years of tapes of his family growing up.
Yeah, that's an emotional gut punch right there.
So I probably only cry in the theater once per year, and this is the one that did it for me in 2016. Mm-hmm. Anyway, if we want to move into spoilers now... So stop listening if you want to see this and not have the ending spoiled for you, although it's not... maybe. Do you think
it's not super
if they knew the
important.
ending before they saw the movie, would it ruin it for them?
Not necessarily. I'm very not spoiler averse. I'm fine with knowing spoilers at a time, and I actually enjoy it just to know kind of the context of things and then look at it with a different eye when I'm watching the movie. But yeah, I'd say if you don't want to know anything about the movie, don't listen to this.
All right, here's why I was pissed off watching this movie, and it's because the trailer ruins the movie. And the same thing happened with Room, and I'm not going to spoil that right now because I want everybody to go watch Room, the movie from
Spoiler,
I think last year.
They don't get out of Room.
Hey, shut the fuck up. But did you see the trailers for this movie, La La Land?
I think I saw them once, so I was not like barraged by it, and I didn't really pay it much mind. So
let me tell you, in the trailer there is that shot where Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling run into each other for the second time, not on the highway, but after he gets fired from his job.
Yeah, and he pushes by or whatever.
Yeah. But in the trailer, they use the shot where he kisses her.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez.
So as I'm watching the movie and he shoves past her, I'm thinking, what? Wait, what? No, he was supposed to kiss her. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So now I know that some shit's going to happen later on. I don't know if it's going to be some weird-ass time travel shit or what. But then at the end, when she goes down to his club with her new husband, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to have like some big flashback thing showing what could have been, and that's where that kiss is going to be. So that whole sequence was ruined for me because the trailer spoiled it.
Oh, well then you basically were robbed of magic because that sequence in the movie was when I was like, yep, I turned around from not really caring much for the movie, and now I love this movie.
Oh,
just
really?
for that end sequence. Yeah.
I love the end sequence, too, and that's what made me cry. But it's just the trailer's what pissed me off because it fucked the whole thing.
Yeah, they really did not think about what they were showing people there. That really blows. Okay, so my kind of problem with the movie, the way the characters interact is that... So Ryan Gosling is in this band, kind of a techno-y jazz band. So my question, kind of going off course here, was that music supposed to be bad?
Oh, I think it was good. I think just Ryan Gosling didn't like what it represented because he likes the classic jazz where everything is just chaotic.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I mean, like, I don't think it was bad music, and it's actually an interesting... Like, what, do you know what the name of the black guy in this movie was?
I don't remember.
I don't remember his name. But he was talking about how, like, you need to change things and innovate, and that's kind of what the soul of jazz is. He makes really good points about you need to change things sometimes. And Ryan Gosling seems to be generally fine with what he's doing. But then you've got that scene where Emma Stone is kind of being dragged out further and further away from him by the crowd. And I wasn't sure whether she was just like, well, you're giving up on your dream or you're selling your soul. But, I mean, they have that dinner. Okay, so this is my actual problem. They have that dinner together. and she basically says, "Oh, okay, well, you're done with the tour now. You're going to come back, right?" And I don't understand that she thinks he's going to finish one tour and then have enough money to start his club, and so she thinks he's just going to scrape by and eventually get the club. Like, I just don't understand the general thought process there.
Yeah, and that, of course, is the turning point in every movie where the characters decide to break up. You know, got the classic Shrek and Donkey scene where there's a misunderstanding. So it felt really forced, like, okay, yeah, here's the scene where they're going to break up and get in an argument.
Yeah.
But my question, as she was walking to that dinner and she, like, leaves a voicemail saying, I miss you, was that to her ex? Who the fuck was that to? Her parents?
Was the guy at the end the man she was with before?
I think so.
So then that must have been... Okay.
So before that dinner even happened, before they argued, she was already planning on cheating on him? Like, what the fuck?
Possibly, yeah. Rebound.
Why?
Go back to the one before.
I mean, yeah, it was bizarre to me. Like, if you're already planning on cheating before this big breakup fight scene, then the relationship was doomed anyway.
Yeah, to begin with, yeah.
But maybe it was a different guy, or maybe she was calling her parents. I don't fucking know. I'll have to see it again, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah, so just my general problem is I think there's not quite enough to the characters to really make this, like, a great true love story where they're... But I mean, like, I really do love how it subverts at the end with they are not together. They've both kind of lived out their dreams and have been able to succeed in some way, but they have to do it separately. So I kind of like that compromise. And then the entire scene where they're going back through the entire relationship if they had stayed together. I really did like that. That was pretty beautiful.
Have you seen 500 Days of Summer?
I have.
Somebody said that this movie's like 500 Days of Summer, but with mumbly singing in it.
I'd say that's pretty accurate, yeah. So when will Ryan Gosling meet his autumn?
I don't know.
My one friend told me he watched the 500 Days of Summer movie, and he was really liking it, and then the ending happened when he meets the woman named Autumn, and he was like, this movie is shit. just that one thing, he was just like, no, that can't happen. I'm sorry, that's terrible. So that was his last straw.
Yeah, and I wonder if people feel a similar way about this film where, like, oh, they didn't end up together. That ruins it for me, even though, like, it is a subversion. And they do both have a happy ending. It's just not together. Yeah,
which I think is nice. And I think I was listening to a podcast where they're talking about the movie and talking about the kind of real struggle of actors in LA where you're kind of always auditioning and putting yourself out there, and like 99.9% of the time you won't even get a callback, let alone a steady job working there. So they were saying that it was kind of unreal that she would do this one-woman show and then be noticed by someone, then get a role in a movie. But I think that works into the kind of fantasy they're trying to construct.
To be fair, people stuck on the freeway don't usually get out of their cars and do an ensemble dance musical piece either. So,
Monkey, where do you live?
I live in Iowa. Does that happen where you live?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, shit. Wait, don't you live in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
So it's your guys' fault that Trump won.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
Shouldn't you be thanking us?
Yes, thank you. You're my hero.
Yeah.
Because I know you went out and voted.
I did.
Anyway, we're getting off the rails. So we would both recommend the movie. Maybe one of us a little more than the other. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd certainly recommend it.
It's a delightful time at the theater. One of the most emotionally impactful movies I saw in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say wait for Redbox. Maybe it might not be playing anymore in your theater. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I thought it got a limited release, but I think it's now pretty wide. So you can see it in the theater pretty easily, probably. But
if you want to see a really good movie about music, I'd say go watch Whiplash first instead of this one.
Yeah. That's not my tempo, monkey.
Oh, they had J.K. Simmons in this movie for like one scene.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
The
Why
asshole.
is he so underutilized?
I don't know. And you'd think Damien Chazelle, or whatever, however you say his name, would use J.K. Simmons more.
I guess after Spider-Man, J.K. Simmons just keeps getting typecast as a guy who fires people.
Yeah, true.
Because that's all he does in this movie. You're fired! Parker! All right, well,
Gosling.
that's all for today. Thanks for listening if you listen this far. Go check out La La Land. For movie reviews, I've been Mumkey.
And I have been, what is my name?
I think we said your name's E-Rich.
E-Rich, yeah.
E-Rich the henchman.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks, see you guys.
Bye-bye.